That's my heart. Damn. Won't you This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking cellular tonight. We gotta talk about Verizon. We gotta talk about a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen. But, as you know, we gotta start this show. So, in the words of the wise man, the Technoid show starts right now. Michael here. Welcome back to another episode. Almost forgot to move the microphone. Anyway, guys, just real quickly before the video starts, unfortunately, the upstairs lighting, the one above that helps you guys see a little better, is not working tonight. So I decided to just use this as the backlight for tonight's show. Apologies in advance if I'm a little bit in the dark. It kind of really is me in the dark. But anyway, guys, what is going on? I hope you all are enjoying yourselves. I hope you guys are having an excellent night. I hope you guys are having fun. Tonight, we are going to go back into the cellular realm. Sneed Mobile Tech will be on momentarily. So I'm going to do a quick roll call. For those of you joining in live, thank you very much for joining us. For those of you watching on replay, thank you for watching as always. Anyway, guys, as you know, we are only getting started. The summer is here. There are reviews and a lot of things coming out. So stay tuned for the end of the video because I have a huge sneak peek of the next review coming out within the next couple of days. So you're not going to want to miss that. And lastly, before we begin the first topic, before we give the shout outs, I just want to clarify something to all of you that usually in the summertime, I'm a lot more productive. I will have more time. I will be a lot more available to make videos. So there will be a little bit of times when I do go on vacation that I will have some substitution. I'll explain the summer schedule at the end of the video. But real quickly, let's give a shout out to who's in tonight. We got Sean. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, I remember the familiar face. What's up? How are you, my friend? It's good to have you on tonight. And I'm sure there will be more joining us through the rest of the night. Anyway, so let's talk. So I'm sure all of you, if you haven't heard by now, or if you haven't already been told, but Verizon has been going through a little bit of a shakeup. So it seems, according to a lot of people, Verizon is kind of going through a midlife crisis in the marketing department. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this. Now, this is a video that I wanted to make a full episode of, but because of how long it would be to break down the details and also to kind of circle back and forth with other carriers and other news sources, I figured we'd do a live episode where we can talk with Sneed when he gets in here. But I'll set the table. I will talk everything you need to know. And then when Sneed comes in, he'll fill us in on the juicy details. So right now, Verizon has been going through a little bit of some changes. And for those of you that watch Sneed Mobile Tech, I think you already know. But for those of you that do not watch, I'm going to do the best that I can to give you a casual breakdown. A casual breakdown because I'm not a cellular guru. I'm not the GOAT of the telecom industry. I'm just Technoid. But essentially, there are new plans. There are new plans for Verizon. Verizon has some plans. We've got a lot to talk about. And there is a lot to be discussed. And with that, I cannot tell you how excited I am to talk this tonight. So tonight we are joined once again by the GOAT of the telecom industry, Mr. Sneed Mobile Tech, who is backstage and ready to go. Thumbs up if you're ready. Let's get him in!
What up, man?
All right, I killed some time. I got you in. So we are here. And
bro, the restream does not always play nicely, bro.
I know, man. You know, a lot of people, and real quickly before we start, a lot of people, when I do that little intro with this, you know, I have to switch from one webcam back to the other.
Yeah.
And sometimes Restream likes to mess up literally 5 minutes before the stream goes. So I got to make sure that it's good to go because, oh, man, it's
And I don't know if anybody could tell, but sometimes when I use Restream, they tell me I have to boost my audio. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case. Just turn me up if I'm low.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, I'm glad you're here.
Thanks, bro.
So let's get right
you
to
having
it.
me, man. All right.
And PA Tech, thank you for joining in.
PA Tech.
Let's get right to it. So Sneed, I've already set the table. Verizon is going through a midlife crisis, at least because okay, let's lay out the timeline here. So it was a year ago where things started to kind of, you know, change. And I say change very, very strongly because we've seen growth in Verizon. We've seen some great stuff come from Verizon. You know, 2-3 years ago, Hans Vestberg was looked at as a great CEO. You know, he had a lot of high promises. I was one of them that believed in him. The partnership with Apple, with 5G rolling out, it looked very promising. But flash forward 3 years later, and they are slowly declining, but not declining by like a cliff, but a steadily decline where the quality is going down, the product is starting to feel stale, and with the way cost of living has gone up, there have been a lot of shift in demand from consumers. Now, Verizon, I gotta be honest with you, as great as their network is, they started to feel a little disconnected with their users at times, in my opinion. But recently, they've had a little bit of a shakeup. I believe somebody was let go of their marketing department. Was that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So now it looks like they got the new person involved. We'll talk about that, but essentially the biggest shakeup is that they have unveiled brand new plans. Now, T-Mobile was also quick to do this. We'll actually spend some time on the T-Mobile plans because I actually realized I didn't get a chance to talk about the Go 5G when that whole hacking incident happened. So I never really got a chance to break it down. So this is a perfect video to do that. We could kind of cross-examine, but here it is. Here are their brand new plans. Now, this is now being dubbed under their profile of My Plan. Essentially, it seems that Verizon wants you to now have control. They want you to have control of your plan. You can customize what you want. Try to make it as simple and as easy to use. And it does seem on the surface that they have lowered prices by a little, not a lot, but a little discount. So we're going to take a look at all of the plans available. We're going to start off with their Verizon. As a matter of fact, let's go to the chart. So let's get started. Let's pretend I'm a new customer. Let's say, how many lines are we doing here? Sneed, for the purposes of demonstration, how many lines should we put? One,
Well,
two?
if you do one line, you get the single line pricing. If you do 3 lines, then you can compare that to the T-Mobile pricing, which they always advertise 3 lines.
Well,
And then for like the best Verizon pricing, you got to put like 4.
I'm going to put 1. We're going to start with 1. And I'm just going to put a random number, zip code. I don't know exactly what it's going to give me. But anyway, so here, let's build your plan. Now, this is another thing that they've been building on, is this whole build your plan. They want you to customize. So let's see. Let's start with our most popular plans. So the first thing is Unlimited Plus. So right off the bat, $100 a month. Now, this is for a single person. So I just want to clarify, and also shout out to the Third Angel. Appreciate you coming in. It's great to meet you as well, my friend. Thank you for tuning in.
So check out the setup on that, man.
So let's take a look.
It's
right off the bat,
this is a pre-made.
This is pre-made. Yes.
This is like recommended. This is like they're basically saying this is typically what people buy.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So here's what's pre-made. So there are no more get 5G more, none of that. It's now called Unlimited Plus. So now here's how the plan works. For those of you who don't understand, you will basically get your own plan and you can customize it and pick what you want. But here's the thing and the biggest caveat. A lot of people picked up on this. You do get some perks. You do get a few additions in there. However,
but you got to pay for them.
That's the caveat. And that's why I wanted you to now explain to everybody, because we're going to hit the customize button and we're going to break this down. So Sneed, break it down.
All right. So the Unlimited Plus is their premium offer. It starts at $80 a month for the service, like for phone service. All right. The other option is Unlimited Welcome. You come in at $65 for a month of service. So those are the two cellular plans. Let's start first with how to distinguish these two plans. The Unlimited Welcome at $65 is a very basic entry-level cellular plan. You will not get access to 5G UW, so that's no C-band, no millimeter wave. You don't get official support. You actually will connect to those bands, but they'll cap you at 25 megabits per second. Right? So you can get connected to those channels. You just won't be able to get all the speed that typically comes with them. Right? No tethering and mobile hotspot data on the Welcome Unlimited plan. 480p resolution for the video playback. And that's pretty much the plan, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing, Mike. One more.
Go ahead.
After you use 500 gigs of data, which is insane. All right, that's they slow you down to 4 megabits per second for the rest of the month.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that. And that is actually one thing that I want to discuss real quickly. So, the whole gimmick of unlimited has been a marketing ploy. Obviously, it's not truly unlimited. However, one of the biggest things that carriers can do is market it in a way where you'll think it's unlimited. With T-Mobile, they've done a very good job of doing that, where you can use as much data, but they don't slow you down, but they will eventually find ways to throttle you. But Verizon, they found their way, and yeah.
500 gigs is a ton of data, but to call a spade, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And here's the thing, because I'm going to show everybody, I'm going to do something here. I mean, I don't use 500, but, well, actually, I can't really show it, privacy reasons. But if I read you my data right now on how much I use on my
50
iPhone.
gigs? 100
I'm gonna
gigs?
I'm gonna read it to you right now. Hold on one sec. And get ready for this. Brace yourselves, because you'd be surprised, and I'll explain what I use it for. But if we take a look, okay, this is taking forever. All right, while that loads up, let's move on to the next part. I'll give it a few seconds. I'll give it a few seconds. It's taking a while. It's taking a while.
Okay.
But
so the next plan.
Is the Unlimited Plus. So now, let's say you buy in. Now, this is a single user. Now, for a single user, $80 is actually not a bad price. But now, here is where the caveat starts to come in. Now, this may not be a big deal for a lot of people, but for some people, mainly families, this is where it takes a turn. Because now, after you've gotten that, do you remember how carriers used to give you little incentives? You remember how they used to say, you know what, you'll get something on us?
Yeah.
Well, now you are no longer going to get that. Instead, what they're doing is they're going to give you a great deal, but not for free. So let me explain what they're doing. So as you see on your screen, they've enabled 2 perks. Now, you can pick as many perks as you'd like. You can take as many as you want, but every perk here is $10 a month. The Disney bundle, which used to be included with your plan, no longer free. You now have to pay a fixed price. Now, for some people, there is saving in here, and there are some good perks, I will admit. But if you were to get, let's say you don't use mobile hotspot. I know a lot of people that use mobile hotspot, especially in the cellular world. You're going to have to pay for that 100 gigabyte mobile hotspot. But let's say you
plan
take
comes
that.
with 30.
It comes with 30, but if you want more, you're going to have
right.
to pay. Now, let's say you want to get Disney and Apple. So the Disney plan, and now they show you the breakdown. They do give you a breakdown. And I will say, there is something to be said here because I do actually think that through them, you are getting a better deal.
Yeah.
You are getting a better deal. But here is the thing. You now have to pay. And if you want to get more for your family, you're going to have to pay an additional $10 more. Now, if you're an individual, you're getting a better deal. But let's say, let's kick it up a notch. Now, let's say you want to get more. Apple Music for family. Let's say you don't want this. Apple Music for family will run you $10, which is actually a good deal because the family plan on Apple Music is
17.
So you are getting some value here, but I think that's where a lot of the criticism has fallen because this is where the first biggest negative is. The first one out of the gate is the loss of value. Now, I'm not saying they don't give you value. You do get something, but now you have to pay for it. Now, before, I'm pretty sure it was common knowledge that nothing was ever free. Everybody knows that carriers are paying for it. You're not really getting it for free. It's included with your plan, but carriers are paying for that service. So this is probably Verizon's way of saying, listen, you want to get a good deal, we'll give you a good deal, but you have to pay something for it. But this is my negative. This is the first negative, and I agree with this negative because this has been seen all over the internet. And Sneed, you could chime in on this in just a second. The first negative out of the bat is the fact that if you get this plan on its own, you're only saving $10. The Unlimited Plus or the Get More was $90 back then. The old
came
plan.
with like 6 things or something?
As a matter of fact, you know what? I have screenshots, which I'm going to try to pull up, of the old plans. I'm going to try to get access to the plans. I was able to grab them before they were gone. So I'm going to try to pull them up. But essentially, if you had the 5G Get More, okay, I have the photos, but unfortunately, we cannot pull them up here. But anyway, let's read the old plans. Let's go back to the old plans. I could read them side by side, but if you had the Verizon 5G Get More, for a single line, it ran you $80. Now, for $80 or $90 without auto pay. So again, you got to take into consideration you're also doing auto pay. Here's the difference. In that plan, you were getting not only 5G ultra wideband and the 5G network, C-band, all that, but you were getting 50 gigabytes of premium mobile hotspot data. Not
more than
30.
The new plan,
you were
right?
getting more. Yeah. You were also getting home internet savings if you were a Verizon home internet user. I don't know if they give that to you here. Do they actually give? Okay, yeah. So they keep that. Okay. You get Verizon home internet for $25 a month. Do they still give you that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now here are the perks. Not only were you getting more premium mobile data, hotspot, but you got Hulu, Disney, ESPN Plus, all included. You didn't have to pay $10.
Right.
Plus, you also got Apple Music included. And you also got Apple Arcade or Google Play Pass, which
you pick, right?
You pick, which would be free for 6 months, and then you had the choice to continue it. And then I think the last thing they gave you was a
came
travel
with 600 gigs of storage for cloud storage.
Cloud storage, and they even gave you a 1-day complimentary travel pass.
Travel pass, right?
So right there, the comparison, the similarities are gone. You are getting more value from the old plans than now. And as a matter of fact, I would argue you're getting a worse plan now Because if you continue without perks, you're going to pay the same money that you would have paid for the previous plans, but you get no incentives. And Sneed, I want you to chime in. I want to get your opinion on this because you've talked about this. And I'm sure maybe for most people this isn't a deal breaker, but for a family, especially in your case, you're a family man. You have children, you have a wife, you have people that would use some of these incentives. So you tell me, what do you think from a person who pays bills and everything, like from your perspective? Go ahead.
So overall, the Get More plan was a better plan because the value is there. All right, this setup, the structure, trades value for customizability, right? So what Verizon has done is they've aggregated a bunch of different services into one platform, meaning Verizon, and they've said, you get to pick from all of this. And trust me on this, bro. Verizon's going to get more in here. If they've got 9, 10 choices right now, they're going to have 12, 13, 14, 15 by the end of the year. They're going to add more, right? And what they've done is to incentivize you to move to these plans is give you the freedom each month to change your perk. You're not fixed to it. In fact, and this is actually a really cool feature, there are a handful of add-ons in this portfolio that you can turn off in the middle of the month and turn on a different one, and it gets prorated so you don't even change how much you're paying, right? So you don't have to wait till the end of the month to switch. So it's actually really customizable. This plan does not have the value the Get More does. If you take what the Get More had and built the same way with this plan, you're paying $120, right? If you take the 4, 5 services that you normally got with the Get More, it's going to be $120 or $130. But what this offers you is this gives you the ability to just make your own. Buy one thing from them, buy 2 things from them, buy 3 things from them. But it's $10 and you got all this to choose from. Because you got to remember, the Get More didn't have this much stuff to choose from. The Get More just gave you the 3 or 4 things built in. So that's really what this is about. It's about picking, choosing, customizing, and making your own.
And that's why I titled this video as the plans are eh. I would say it's not a bad idea because I like that idea that you could customize, you could say what you do and you don't want. That's why I didn't say these plans were terrible. I think it's great that you have the option to customize what you want. I like the fact that you get to pick and choose what you use and what you don't use so they don't charge you for the stuff you're not using. So for me, I agree with that. But where
you want to hear something crazy, Mike? This is real. I mean, I'm going to frame this for you and it's going to blow your mind.
Go ahead.
The most expensive premium plan at T-Mobile is $90 a month, right? Mm-hmm. Verizon's is $80. Mm-hmm. So before, when everybody said Verizon was the expensive carrier, not anymore.
No, yeah.
T-Mobile's $90 and Verizon is $80. So if you never use Netflix on Us, AAA, MLB Pass, T-Mobile Tuesdays, if you don't use any of that stuff from T-Mobile, you're paying $90 for their phone plan. Verizon is $80.
That is true.
Name a time in the history of the world where T-Mobile was more expensive than Verizon.
You know, and that's a very interesting point. That is actually a very good point because you're 100% right. We've never said Verizon was cheap. The fact that it is now cheap is incredible to say. However, though, I still am in this position. This is my position. While I like this way you've pictured it, and I like the framing, I think the biggest problem for me is that while it's great that you do get to pick and choose, I would have been okay if this had been an option for a single user. Had this been for an individual, one person. Had this been for a family, like more than 3 lines, I feel like they should at least have said you're entitled to 1 perk. At least 1 perk.
Well, then you know what they could have did? They could have charged you $85 instead of $80, and you get to pick a perk included. And then every perk after that is $10.
See, I would have been okay with that. I think that's my biggest issue. I have no problem if this is for an individual.
By the way,
'cause now we're
85
gonna-
I think puts it at the same price as AT&T's most expensive
and
plan.
it's still cheaper than T-Mobile.
Than T-Mobile, all right.
See, because let me pull up now a multi-family plan. Let's do a multi-family. So let's go to 3 lines or 4. You know what? Let's do 3. Let me put in this random address or zip code. I'm just typing in numbers. So let's say you're a family. Let's see. You want to start with popular or start with your own?
Start your own plan, right?
Start your own, okay.
And now you can mix and match. So you can pick 1 unlimited plus and 1 unlimited welcome, or 2 unlimited welcomes or 2 unlimited pluses.
So let's say let's go with, let's say the kids are gonna be unlimited welcome, because kids don't know nothing. Kids don't know nothing about that. Kids, they're absolutely dumb.
All right, what do kids want from these things?
Well, kids are definitely gonna go Disney bundles.
Now check this out, Mike. The entire account gets access to Disney.
The entire account. See, that's a good idea. See, that was I was hoping you'd say that, because if it's good for the entire family, then that works out, and I'm fine with that. So, and I knew that the Apple One would have did that, because for the family, it's I think it's $20. You save $2. Not really a big saving, but a saving regardless.
All right, get them. Why don't we add Apple One too? Go ahead and put the Apple One.
So let's put them all in. Let's get it in there.
What do you think? Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. I think the family would be satisfied with that.
Okay.
Because you get your Apple Music. So this is line 1 for welcome, and then you get your perks. And now the whole family gets access to all this. So let's go.
Okay, so we got the Disney bundle, we got entertainment, and then we got the Apple services.
So now let's go to the let's do mom and dad. So mom and dad are gonna go unlimited plus. No perks, because their kids they're gonna leech off their kids. I mean, come on, nowadays parents are looking to do that stuff. So we're just gonna keep it real here. So they're gonna go line 2, $65 with $10. You save $10 with the auto pay, so you have $55. And then let's go to mom. Same thing, $55. You'll save $20. You'll save more money when you start doing auto pay. And here you go, $210 a month minus the auto pay. So you're looking at $70. 55 and 55. So you're looking at $30 off the bill. So we're looking at $180 a month.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, on a premium Verizon plan, that's actually not terrible. That's not terrible at all. That's actually decently good, especially with the fact that you don't have to add these perks. So that is actually very, very good. But like I said before,
you know what we should do, Mike? We should build a plan on T-Mobile.
You know what? Great idea.
Let's go to the T-Mobile website. Let's do 3 lines of the Go 5G Plus.
Here we go. Let's pull it up.
And let's see. You know,
here we are. And here's the only perk that you get with T-Mobile. If you do a family line, you get a 3rd line for free. So let's pick a plan, or let's do this.
There it is. The Go 5G Plus, 3 lines, 150.
3 lines, and you get the 3rd line for free, that promotion. Obviously, you got to keep the account open. So let's take a look at it. Let's go through the numbers. So you're technically, you are...
Now remember what we got with the other one. We got the Apple One.
Apple One.
And we got the Disney Plus, or the Disney bundle, which comes with Hulu,
and
Disney,
ESPN.
and ESPN Plus, right?
All right. So let's skip the add to devices. Let's go right to the phone line. So with auto pay enabled, you're looking at, and of course, don't forget, they'll give you the 3rd line for free, which, I mean, listen, they're giving away everything for free nowadays, but it's really not. You're paying $150. So the difference is
you're getting Netflix, you're getting AAA. You're getting T-Mobile Tuesdays.
You're also getting Apple Plus, I think.
Oh, Apple TV? Okay.
Apple TV Plus, you are getting that. And are they giving away Paramount still? Are they doing Paramount Plus?
Oh, I don't know.
Let me see. Hold on. Let's go to...
So they got a couple of things, right?
They got a few things. There are something there. I don't know if they're doing Paramount Plus. I haven't seen it, but I could have swore they were. Are they doing YouTube TV? Or do they get rid of YouTube TV?
I think they do that with the home internet.
They probably do. But either way, so 150 versus 180. With one plan, you're saving on the 3rd line, which essentially is still paying for 2 lines, whereas this one...
So look at the pricing. Check it out, right? We were able to build a Verizon plan that if you took away the add-ons was like $5 or $10 more than T-Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And if you include the add-ons, it's what, like $30 more, right?
$30 more.
Okay.
And with T-Mobile, I do think everybody gets the plan. I do think you all get Netflix or whatever. Everybody can have, but a family's probably
isn't it like 2 screens or something like that?
Yeah. So well, actually, I found out if each person has the highest plan, they can have their own individual Netflix account. You don't have to share. But either way. But you're right, though. You do get to pick and choose, and I do like that aspect a little more. But I'm still under the impression, this is just my opinion, I feel with a family plan, you should at least get just one perk, and then you pay for the rest. I do feel like if you're doing
that would change the game, because then the bill would be like $170.
I feel like, and it would still give you, it would actually still like, still be in good competition with the only thing that...
By the way, T-Mobile, you can't mix and match, right? So you got to pick all Go 5G Plus or all Go 5G.
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't even know this, that apparently Dan says taxes are included on T-Mobile. So you do get the taxes and fees included. Yeah. Zero Cool, shout out to Zero Cool. He writes, T-Mobile is offering free line promotions for the Go 5G Plus plans on May 23rd.
Oh, here we go. Qualify for those free lines.
Here we go again.
Add a line and all this other stuff.
Are those for new or existing customers?
They'll be for existing, but you're going to have to add a new line too.
Jesus.
Right, so add a new line and then you'll get another line free.
Well, either way, that's how they keep their accounts going. But... Yeah. Talking, and it's actually good that we're circling into the Go 5G Plus, because I actually didn't get to talk about it. What exactly, I'm going to let you answer this. Well, what exactly is so plus about it? Like, we went from Magenta Max, now Go 5G Plus.
So here's why they did the naming, I think, right? There's still people that are on old phones that aren't 5G. So what they're probably telling people is, move towards a new device, right? Go 5G, move plans, move phones, here's this great deal. The plan itself is essentially just like Magenta and Magenta Max was, but what they did was they kind of took the third line that's free from Magenta and they put it onto these plans. So they devalued the old plans to add value to this one. They added some international data, right? They gave some additional and I think a little bit more hotspot, but it's basically the same plan. But they sell it for like $5 or $10 more per line, right? So they gave you a little bit extra to get a little bit extra out of you.
Mm-hmm. And, I'll be honest. I travel. I do go to Europe. I do go, on vacation. But never once am I ever saying, oh, man, I really need to. Because they've already got good partnerships in international territory. Yeah, where they allow you to use your data up to a certain limit, but you're going to be on Wi-Fi. You'll probably have pre-downloaded stuff to save on the network. So,
right.
You don't really necessarily need that unless you're like a heavy traveler. But even then, you just get the travel pass. So, I don't know. But for me, I would say for those of you that have Magenta Max, I mean, it's not really worth the upgrade. I mean, unless you really prioritize that international aspect of it if you're traveling. But
well, if you're shopping between Verizon and T-Mobile, it looks like you're saving about $20, $30, right?
You are saving $30, and there is another caveat that I didn't even see Dan, or actually was it? I just saw that. No. He was talking about the the Magenta Max and the taxes. What I saw was they still are doing this price lock, that they won't raise the price of your rate plan.
Yeah, Verizon did the same thing with the Plus plan. They gave it like a 3-year price lock.
Yeah, a 3-year price lock. I don't know if T-Mobile is exactly going to do that for life.
It's almost become a gimmick, man. I don't even know, bro.
It did become. You know why? Because there was a moment in marketing areas where they were like, listen, these plans are getting expensive. We know how to do it. And promotion is exactly the way it's got to be. That's why marketing ploys work. And speaking of marketing, this segues perfectly to our sponsor, our midway sponsor of the video. Real shout out, guys. This portion of the live episode is brought to you by Rogue Energy. We got to fit them in there. Rogue Energy makes some of the greatest energy drink that money is going to buy you. Head on over to rogueenergy.com. Use the promo code Technoid. Save 10% off. Once again, I want to thank Rogue for powering the Technoid live episode and thanking them for being a part of this portion of the video. Was that smooth?
El suavemente.
I love it. But anyway, going back to Verizon, I would argue that even though I'm not the biggest fan of this new, this new plan of what they're doing, I'm only not a big fan of it for existing customers because I think existing customers would be better off holding on to their, 5G Get More and others because I still think there's no reason to upgrade or at any point unless you want to save money on your bill.
So check this out, right? What if you were a T-Mobile customer on the Go 5G Plus, right? $150 out the door, but you were paying for Disney and Hulu and Apple on your own, like you were paying that separate, and you were a T-Mobile customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix, right? You had that included in your T-Mobile, but you had to pay for the Apple One, Apple Music, whatever the bundle is, plus the Hulu and Disney. Mike, that's $30 in value that you were paying separately. So you were paying $150 for your T-Mobile service, plus the $40 for those subscriptions. You were paying $190 in bills. You could go to Verizon, right?
Well, to tell you the truth, I canceled all that stuff because
I'm saying,
I'm not
isn't there going to be a customer out there, right?
Well, if you were a customer, yes, you would definitely be saving more money.
Okay, so let's say you're a customer and you're doing that. You're paying $190 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Verizon will give it to you for $180. I mean, you're right there.
I mean, you bring up a very interesting point.
You see what I'm saying? So there might be a way. There might be a way to make this work for you. Okay, what if you're an at&t customer?
Oh, yeah.
And your bill is $190, $180, whatever. It's just like Verizon's. But you have been paying for all that stuff. An additional $30 in bills a month. Now it's going to be included in your Verizon. Now you're going to save $30.
All right. You know what? You've actually managed to sway me. I'm not even lying.
I think for that customer, it works.
I do think so, because there are some ways that this works for people. I do think I see this working for people. I actually can see this working out. I'm not saying that you're not going to enjoy this. I mean, listen, if you're an existing customer, you got to weigh your options. Listen, just weigh them and see where you go from there.
First of all, I don't think any other carrier offers 100 gigs of hotspot for $10.
I don't even... No, yeah, they don't. They only give you
nobody
50,
does.
50. Only they give you 50, but they don't even give you, I think, 100.
So what if you were able to work remotely and you would take your laptop with you? You could go wherever you want, man. You got 100 gigs of hotspot, that'll last you a month for sure. For $10. That's nothing, bro. $10, bro, for 100 gigs of hotspot? I mean, that's like home internet almost. 100 gigs of hotspot.
I mean, I personally never use hotspot, so it's not for me. But I know people that would use this. So for $10, that actually
do you like the Apple One? Do you like the Apple One offer for $10?
For family or individual?
For family.
They make you pay $20, but considering you're using it for the family, I would say yes.
Okay. Do you like the Disney bundle at $10?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. What other services on this list do you think is worth the $10?
Well, if you're not going to do the Apple One, the Apple Music Family Plan, which is $10, because that actually is a better
worth the $10?
That is worth the $10 because Apple Music Family Plan itself is, I think, 17 or 15, maybe more. So how about
Walmart Plus? Is that worth $10?
I actually didn't even know that existed. I'm sorry.
Okay, I didn't even know. I don't use it myself, but
if somebody goes to Walmart, maybe.
Okay, let's look at the rest of the add-ons.
Here, let's go. Okay, here we go. Smartwatch data and safety. I didn't know that was actually an add-on. But okay, yeah.
Okay, whatever.
3-day travel pass.
Okay,
days,
that's worth $10 because they
that is
typically
worth
charge
$10.
$10 for 1 day.
That's true, and they give you $20 off. Plus Play monthly credit. I don't know what that is.
So what they do is Plus Play is when you can get any of those streaming services, and what they do is they just credit your account for $10.
Oh, that's sick. I
But
didn't know that.
but it saves you $5 because it's 15.
Yeah, I
Right?
see.
So you're basically you're getting like a $5 discount, right?
Yeah, you get a $5 discount.
All right,
so
there's
maybe
more.
That's worth it.
There's more, right? So we talked about the 100 gig hotspot.
2
They also have the
terabyte
2
cloud
terabyte
storage.
cloud storage. So like for some people like me, dude, I want that. You know the two things I want from here, my two favorite perks, believe it or not? It's the 2 terabyte cloud storage for $10, and it's the 100 gig of hotspot. I think those are the best two perks.
Those are that for you.
The other ones are
yes.
more entertainment. You know what I'm
For
saying?
me, it's definitely Disney Bundle and Apple One. I think those are my two.
Yeah, for my daughter, the family, I gotta have the Disney bundle.
Are you only limited to 2 perks, or can you pick all of them?
You could buy all these, but they're each $10.
I'm surprised because that's actually not terrible in the long run. Because especially for
This
the
is
family.
step 2, choose your perks, not pick 2 perks.
Oh, okay. Choose your perks. Okay. Well, like I said, you've managed to sway me in a sense. You have. I think you've brought up a lot of fair points. I think you've kind of positioned it very well. And while I still think that you should be entitled to 1 perk if you're on a family plan,
I agree.
I do think they should modify the price, but still keep it at a competitive price. I do actually see some people saving money on stuff that they don't use. I can see some areas where a single person would go in and be like, listen, I just want their Verizon service. I don't care about this free stuff. I don't care about all that. And paying only $80, I mean, who knows what the taxes are going to be, but that the price is locked in for 3 years, that's not bad, actually.
Yeah.
But like I said, I still am under the impression that I would rather, if you're a family plan, just, give them 1 perk.
Yeah.
Just one. You should. Anybody doing 3 lines or more should be entitled to at least one.
Qualifies for at least one included.
For 1 included. Because, I mean, listen, the perks don't make the plan. It's the service. It's everything that's in it. So, this is my scenario. I would have liked to have seen, if you get this, if you get the Unlimited Plus or whatever, you mix and match, you get 1 perk. You could do either the Hotspot, Disney Bundle, Apple One, Walmart, or even limit it to 2 choices. You pick 1 for free and then the rest you pay for. Between the Disney Bundle and maybe the Hotspot. Maybe.
Okay, so should they have so keep the price but include the 1 for anything 3 lines or more.
Say that one more time, rephrase. I can't.
So keep the pricing the same, the way they've got it constructed, but if it's a 3-line setup, so basically a family account, 1 free perk, and then you got to pay for whatever other ones you want.
I would have done what you said. I would have tweaked the price by $5. I would have, instead of making it like, I would have tweaked it to maybe.
Yeah, so that way the carrier's not paying up the full 10 in value. They're basically giving you 1 for half off.
Exactly.
And then you pay for the rest of them.
Because that's what T-Mobile does with Netflix on them. If you get the standard, none of that 4K, Ultra, whatever, you get it for free. But if you want that 4K, Dolby, whatever, they're like, listen, we'll pay the majority of it, but you put in the additional $2, $3. If they had said, listen, you do the family plan, you do whatever, we'll give you 1 perk, and then you just pay the rest for what you want.
Oh,
like
by the way, one
that's
more thing, Mike. The phone upgrades are full valued on the Unlimited Plus. On the Unlimited Welcome, they're like half valued.
Ooh.
So like trade-ins and device promotions, like on the new phones. Yeah, you're getting a much better deal if you're on the more expensive plan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand that because the welcome plan, the welcome plan. I mean, listen, that's just basic. That's a basic plan. It's not a terrible plan, but that's just for somebody who doesn't care about all the fancy mumbo jumbo.
It literally exists to get people up to the next plan.
It literally is. That's really what it is. But you know what, though? I'm kind of glad in a sense that this is what they've done. While I still think it's just, it's all right. That's how I feel about it. It's all right.
Well, they could adjust it and change it, and it would have made it a lot better.
You know what though?
You know, the way you set it up, it would have made it a lot better value.
Well, I was gonna say is that I'm actually glad that it's only 2 plans. I'm glad that they did. They
Simplicity.
Just said, they kept it simple. That's something I'll give them credit for. Is that they did keep it simple. They were like, listen, and their value of these phones, like by the way, because I gotta tell you, man, like Verizon be selling some decent phones at decent value nowadays, especially with their trade-ins. And if you get their premium plan, they'll probably, like you said, full value. But no, if like I said, I would have positioned it. I'm glad that they've only got 2 plans. Obviously, the other plans were better when they were out with the value-wise, but considering that you get a lot, I would say really their performance. You're really paying for that Verizon performance at this point. And then the perks that come in with it, if you're not using certain plans, then yeah. For me, like I said, I hope in the future that they restructure it for family plans. Where if you're a family, if you got 3 or plus more lines, you're entitled to 1 perk. Just 1, not 2, just 1. So, and then have them pay the difference for the second perk, so that way they're not taking a loss. Because, again, this is what T-Mobile did, and this is, I'm not trying to compare T-Mobile here, but this is what makes the most sense, you know what I mean? But that's the Verizon My Plan. I do like that it is simple. While I'm not the most crazy for paying for perks in the long run, I can see this being easier for people to save money because they don't have to get stuff that they don't use. And the fact that you even mentioned it, I didn't even think of this. The fact that you said that it was cheaper than T-Mobile. In a world where Verizon was the king of expensive, we're now living where we can say it is cheaper than T-Mobile. That actually is insane, and I got to give that credit.
That's wild, man.
Well, before we wrap up the show, before we wrap it up tonight, we're almost done, guys. Thank you for watching. And also, again, we got to segue to another. You got to do it clean. This next portion of the video is brought to you by Slate Chocolate Milk, the healthiest protein milk on the market. 20 grams of protein, 100 calories, and no added sugars. Head on over to slatemilk.com. Use the promo code Technoid. Special thank you to Slate for being a part of this portion of the episode. So thank you to Rogue and Slate for being a part of tonight's episode. Yes, man, they're coming in hot. Them both, they want to be a part. They're seeing the stock value. I can't say I blame them. But anyway, moving on to the last story. This one is just to kind of close it out because we do got to get somebody in here, meaning like Apple, and that's who I would talk about. Also, real quickly, the next episode I do, because I am actually can't get in. Originally, Carlos at Tech was supposed to be here tonight, but unfortunately, due to some last minute miscommunication on my end, I forgot to send the invite out. So mark your calendars. The next live episode, Los, if you're watching, you're coming back on. That was completely my fault. I apologize, my friend. So we're going to get you on the next episode. So everybody, make sure you turn on your notifications if you are subscribed, because Carlos will be in the house the next live episode with the SMT. So we're going to get him back on. But anyway, last story, the final story of the night. Let's talk it over. Let's get it out of the way. As you know, WWDC is on its way. They are filming as we speak for WWDC. Apple has begun the process. But during this whole week, we've been seeing features and things leaked by Apple themselves with Chat GPT, an AI-based chatbot. Also, features of auto speech, and then on top of that, products that are dropping midway with Final Cut Pro coming to the iPads. The Beats Studio Buds Plus coming out can only mean one thing. WWDC this year is going to be packed. It is going to be so much that Apple cannot fit in an entire lineup. So they're doing things and they're actually releasing things. So I want to talk to you, Sneed, about WWDC. And before we get to it, speaking of the Beats Studio Buds, I got a little surprise. I was surprised that they came as early as they did. But the next review that's coming soon in a few days, had this for a bit, didn't say anything. We are going to talk Studio Buds Plus. Be on the lookout. Subscribe. Turn your notifications on when that video drops.
What's the price point on those, bro?
You want me to get into it before we talk WWDC?
I'm just curious so that we kind of know, like, what's the price range? You know what I mean?
Oh, well, for starters, they come in at $170. The originals were $150. This one is $170.
Are they an upgrade? compared to the last models. Okay. All right.
I gotta tell you, man. I gotta tell you.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler, I'm debating on replacing my Fit Pro with this.
Okay.
And
all
it
right,
doesn't
man.
have an H1 chip. It doesn't have those few Apple perks because I have an iPhone. But I gotta tell you, there are two things here that are making me debate. I'm debating it. I will talk more about it in my review. But that transparency color, man, that
Oh, you just dig it.
transparency, dude, it is beautiful. That is the best design they've ever done for
Looks
Beats. That
good.
is the
Looks
greatest.
dope, yeah.
Listen, thank you to Nothing for getting us this transparency wave back because more
Who would have
companies
thunk
need
it,
to.
bro? It would have been the Nothing brand.
I will say though, while I'm not the craziest, I'll save a lot of it. I really hope that one day Beats abandons the whole single driver, and I really hope that Apple as a whole
Dude,
abandons
a lot
the
of
single.
companies at that price point are doing more. They're doing
I
higher
really,
grade.
yeah, exactly. I really hope eventually we get to dual drivers. Like I would argue that even though these are great headphones, like okay, you know what, we're getting
How
way
good
into
would they
this.
be with dual drivers?
And it's not expensive to do. You don't even need to use a woofer and tweeter anymore. You can use two dynamic drivers and tune each one of them for the low and high end, and it would still sound just as good, if not better, than a woofer and tweeter setup. So
Yes, sir. We've seen it.
we've seen it. It's been proven. So I really hope that they abandon this single driver thing, but the tuning is good. But anyway, moving away from that because, oh yes, it will be Siri integrated, zero cooled. It seems that it will be. Let's get back to WWDC. Beat Studio Buds Plus review coming soon. Make sure you turn on your notifications and subscribe if you are not already. But anyway, Sneed, I know you're not much of an Apple guy. I know a lot of people aren't. But considering we've seen a significant amount of Apple news and a lot of Apple products coming this way, I gotta ask you this question. As a person that I say somewhat because I don't know where you stand. As a person that somewhat uses Apple products, do you ever look forward to WWDC? And when I say that, I mean for the software end. Not really the product end, the software end.
You know, sometimes they do some feature drops. Sometimes they bring some stuff to the market that they've been missing. And that's good for people that are in the Apple ecosystem. You know, so, I mean, it's good. You know, when they choose to do it on that platform, you know, it's an opportunity, I think, for them to take what they've been working on, show the market what they're doing, bringing more, I don't know, we'll say like more advanced technologies to the consumer space. I think also sometimes, you know, it would be nice if they really highlighted what people can do in business applications. You know, like it's always about like consumer grade stuff, but like people are in the industries too, you know, and when with all this stuff, like somebody already mentioned Chat GPT,
Yep.
like AI and machine learning seems to be on the forefront of everybody's questions. Like, what can this do? And what capabilities are integrated? And how will this make me more productive? Or how will this make my life more convenient? I think that's the type of thing, like lifestyle features, characteristics, and enhancements with our developers. Because that's
Yeah.
really what this is, right? This is a developer based conference that really shows off the engineering and the intelligence from like a software firmware side of things. You know, I mean,
Oh
how much
yeah.
hardware are we expecting?
You know,
Integrated into the features like to be
for
presented.
for what we're hearing, because I've been covering this for a while on my show, we're hearing reports that a MacBook Air 15 inches coming.
Was anybody asking for that?
Well, they were asking for an update to
An
the
upgraded
MacBook
MacBook Air,
but
okay.
there was a demand for bigger size MacBook Air because the Apple lineup is actually getting more simplified. I'm really happy that Apple is
Yeah,
addressing that.
absolutely.
So MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, you get two sizes, small and large, so that way you don't break the bank with the Pros because if you want the bigger screen, you got to pay the Pro money. So now you can get the cheaper
Are they
one,
still
but
overheating?
Not that I've heard.
Okay, that's good.
I haven't heard any issues. I mean, unless you get the M1 Max or the M2 Max.
They're
I
having
don't even
heating
know.
issues?
On the I think it's the 14 inch, but to be
Okay.
fair, it's a 14 inch. If you get the 16 inch, you're not gonna notice it.
Yeah, okay.
But it is a better cooling system. This is the best cooling they've had in a while because it's a little thicker. So they
It was rough for a while, dude. I'm telling
Oh,
you,
it
man.
was those last few models. But I'm one of the few people. This is actually a rarity because I am one of the few people that actually look forward to WWDC. I don't look forward to it because of the hardware. If I want to wait for hardware, that's coming in September. I don't expect hardware ever at WWDC. Even if I cover the news, even if I cover the stories of what they're saying, I don't expect it. I expect only the software, and that's it. Because that's what WWDC is all about, the developer conference, the worldwide developer conference. But recently, we've seen there have been times at WWDC that they've unveiled some hardware in the past, and I would argue that at this stage, I'm only excited for it because of the software, as I said before. So for me, I'm not expecting hardware. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. I do expect they are going to get hardware, but I don't go in there with my expectations. I set my expectations low, and if anything gets debuted, then it shocks me. But that's just me. I'm not like everyone else. I actually care about the software in the iPad, the iPhone, the MacBook. So for me, I'm all about that life. That's just me. But last thing I'll say about WWDC, and then we'll wrap up the show, and then we'll get going. Last thing I want to say is, I really hope that this event, me personally, I know we're not getting a redesign of iOS. I don't think we're going to see that for a while. I don't think we're going to see that. But I do expect that we're going to get at least more customization. So the only hope that I have at this point, at this junction, is that you open the customization up not just for the general user and everyone, but I really think that, and yes, I did cover this. They have to comply with the EU, and I've already said this, and yes, simplifying things. So yes, you're right. But in regards to the software, I hope that we get more customization for iOS, changing app icons to resemble macOS or even older designs. Like, you've allowed consumers to do things with their lock screens, so let's expand that into the icon. And then when you're
I would
ready
say that's Apple's weakness, right? The lack of customization. It's been a problem.
It has, and they're slowly getting there. The iPhone 14 with the dynamic island is the best that they'll ever get when it comes to customizing for iOS.
Nice.
So the fact that it took a
engineering failure,
and literally, but it worked because it's given us the best display on an iPhone. Right. It's actually given us something that on an iPhone you're getting really, in my opinion, the best that Apple's made. I never liked the notch. While the dynamic island isn't as bad, it's not as good, but it's definitely a lot better. So I would like to see more arrangements with the icons, more custom design, a three-dimensional aspect brought back.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Something to revamp. Like, just something to give it that flair.
Look and
That's
feel.
Just me.
Right, yeah.
Like, it could be the same layout, it could be the same, but just give us something to just, like, whet our beaks for when the time comes that you pull the trigger on the redesign. Just a little sample.
I feel you, bro. Agreed.
But with that being said, we are out of time. So, guys, that is it for the live episode of Technoid. I want to thank all of you for watching. If you've watched live, if you've made it this far into the video. First of all, Sneed, thank you for coming back as always.
Always a pleasure,
and
man. Thank you.
I promise everyone I will reach out to Los. He will be on the next episode, so turn on your notifications because Carlos S. Tech is returning to the Technoid Live podcast. We will be back with him in the following episode. I'm going to be taking a little bit of time off this weekend, so there will be no uploads. I will be finished wrapping up production on the Beat Studio Buds Plus. They will probably come out maybe this weekend. Maybe that'll be the only upload, but that's it. I'm not going to be filming any Technoid episodes, whatever. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button to help circulate the videos as always. Anyway, everyone, have a great night. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Stay safe. See you on the next episode.